Good morning, everyone. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving and I hope you had a fun Black Friday. It was a frenzy where I live. As you can tell, I don't have much of a voice. So, believe it or not, this is going to be a short and sweet, no guts, no story. So, welcome, everyone. Let me know where you're coming in from, where you're watching from, and how long have you been following and watching No Guts, No Story. So I've been doing this since 2006, every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. No matter what, if my daughter was cheering a K-State game, if Chance was playing at K-State, if Brooklyn was in the middle of a Fort Hays halftime dance show, it didn't matter where I was or what was going on, from the lake house, from Hawaii, from an airport. I have been here every Saturday morning for almost 20 years. So it has been something that has been a joy to me to just wake up every Saturday morning and pour into people. I've never charged for the coaching, but it has had an impact on so many people's lives. So my values, my mission statement are completely in alignment with Saturday morning, No Guts, No Story. And if you don't know, that is the title to the book that I wrote back in 2011. And so in the book, it shares a memoir of our life. And the book story ends in 2001. So, yes, we're in need of a new and the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say. So, this book starts out when Dave and I first got together in 1992. And it's crazy because when I look at the name of the chapters, like two sparrows in a hurricane, I mean, it was against all odds that Dave and I would have the success that we've had. And really, not very many people were even in our corner, maybe our moms. But we had a lot of opposition. We had a lot of dream stealers, if you will. We had a lot of people questioning who in the heck do they think they are. We had failure. We both had a past. We had a lot to overcome, but we did it. And I want to tell you, every single one of you, there's a book inside of you. There's a plot twist. There's a success story coming. There's a setup. A setback is just a setup for the comeback. And I can't wait to help you write your success story. So this weekend for Black Friday, for Cyber Monday, I did half price on all of the books that I have left in stock. Obviously, this memoir of our life ends with our very first company we ever were in. And we're on stage as the number one top rank in the company in our 20s and 30s. So there's a lot that has happened since then. We definitely need the next part of the story, but this book ended up actually in a Christian self-help category at Borders bookstore back when everybody actually went to bookstores. And I was in airports the year of Sarah Palin and Barack Obama. And if you go to my author page, my book was between Sarah Palin and Barack Obama. Now, I didn't have a dream to travel all over the world and sign books. I tried that. That was not my dream. My values were, I want to be home with my kids. I want to be at the football game. I want to be the room mom. I want to be there to cook their meals at night when they get home from practice. The book did go on the bestseller rack. It did change a ton of lives, but I didn't write the book to make money as an author. I wrote the book to encourage people that if I could do it, they could do it. I wrote the book so people would hear my story and their faith would be stronger. Their belief would be bigger. Their dreams would be in a little bit, enlarged. Their capacity might grow, that they would believe they could handle more. Because in order for things to get better, you have to get better. You are the common denominator in everything that's happening in your life. And that's the reason why I wrote the book. So if you're looking for a Christmas gift, if you're looking for something to inspire someone, if you just want to treat yourself to it, this book is limited. I probably have 2 cases left, which is like 80 books. And I am working on a new one, but our company is exploding. And every time I try to sit down and work on a new book, I'm like, I don't need to write a book that bad. I got to keep the main thing, which is obviously Frequence. That is my passion, my purpose. I rarely even mention that I have a book for sale, but because of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I did do them all 50% off. So pitcockmarketing.com, you can find the book and then you'll know the story. There's so many little tidbits. I made the chapters really, really easy for you to follow along. Decisions that changed our lives, defining your dreams. Don't let anyone steal your dream. Don't let others keep you from moving forward with what you want to do. Action that you take cures the fears. No excuses. You can make money or you can make excuses. You're not going to make both. You have to say, we're doing it. Think positively and believe no matter how hard it is. Find a way to believe in something. I'd rather try and fail than have never tried at all. A breakdown or a breakthrough. That has to be your decision. How many of you felt like you were having a mental breakdown this week? Like, that's just part of the holidays, right? But you have to break through and grow and learn from those emotions and enlarge your capacity to handle more, to be conditioned to be great. You're going to have pressure. I'm going to make them eat those words. That's one of my favorite chapters, chapter 13. Our entire little small town, not only did they try to steal our dreams, they made flyers about us. Con artist extraordinaire. Don't get in business with them. Their upline used to be in prison. Like, oh my God, people tried to stop us. But wherever there was a roadblock, wherever there was a rumor, wherever there was anything that was just some type of an obstacle, we found a way to break through it. If we couldn't break through it, we crawled over it, we went around it, we took a different route. Nothing was going to stop us from getting to where we are today. From Russell, Kansas to every beach in the world. How did that happen? Mentors, opportunity, hard work, grit, timing, perseverance, so many things I could say. Miles away from our home, decisions were made. Sometimes you have to get away from your little comfortable environment in order to really experience the growth that you need. There is power in promoting. You know, if you're going to be good in sales, in business, if you own a dance school, a salon, a car lot, a doggy hotel, a campground, no matter what you do, a landscaping business, you're a realtor, you have to be a promoter. And when you become a really good promoter, your income goes up. Learning how to promote was one of the biggest lessons that I ever learned. Facing your fear and doing it anyway. That's a great chapter. How many of you do not even have a dream that scares you? You just stay mediocre because you're afraid. But you've got to face that fear and do it anyway. The secret to living is giving. Now, I know this is a hard one for a lot of people, and I'm not talking about just church. I'm talking about taking things out of your closet and donating them, using your time to make impact. Donate your time. Donate your wisdom. Share your wisdom with someone. If you've been through something, share your story. When you're giving something that you have as a gift, the universe, God, if you will 10x anything that you've let go of or something that's been taken from you. But the secret to living really is giving. That's where you're going to feel the joy. That's where you're going to have the abundance. That's where the blessings are going to flow. Because if you're just holding on to, that's mine, I worked hard for this, I'm saving it all, I'm going to hoard it all in my closet for a rainy day. Abundance doesn't flow where that energy is so low. When you let go and you surrender and you say, this was never mine anyway, God blessed me with it, what's mine is yours, I'm going to give, the floodgates open up. So many people are comparing themselves when they're trying to keep up with the Joneses and they want the nice car and they want the nice house and they want the Gucci, and it's all a facade. None of that brings you any joy. The greatest joy that I've ever had is sitting and praying with someone who's in the deep, and I've been there and I've gotten out. The greatest joy I've ever had is being able to help someone I loved move forward. Being able to help a neighbor. And if you don't understand this, it's because you've always had a lack of mentality. When you have a scarcity mindset and you have a lack of, you never experience true wealth where you can give away and more is coming in. But you've got to be giving. I remember one time Dave and I were at the food pantry in Cody, Wyoming. We got beans and rice and peanut butter, and Dave doesn't eat beans. Times were tough. The winds were blowing 30, 40 miles an hour. It was below zero. The air was blue. It never even felt like it got light out. We had to plug our car in just to keep it going, and we had no heat except our fireplace. We literally would put our finger on the inside of the shower window, and there was ice on it. Times were tough, but we went to a church. We walked into a church. I think it was Assembly of God. And we had gotten an insurance check by accident, and it was the only money that Dave had. I had called my mom, sold my horse, lost my car, whatever. We had liquidated everything. And that week we went to church. No, we didn't have the insurance check. Let me not mess up this story. We had $100 that Dave's Uncle Art sent us for Christmas. And my Dave put the entire $100 in the plate at church. And I was so mad. We weren't even married yet, but I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, I just feel like God's going to make a way. Meanwhile, I have no haircuts coming to the salon. We're spraying water on an ice skating rink at a rec center for money in the middle of the night. You could only redo the ice skating rink after everyone went to sleep. So we would go at 11, spray the fire hose to redo the ice rink. But it was so cold, the water would just freeze in the air and fall and clump. It was such hard times. And I was expecting Brooklyn, if you can imagine this. But that week, $1,000 showed up in the mail. And I couldn't believe it. But Dave said, I told you, when you give, you'll be blessed 10 times. Now, it's scary. But when you let go and you surrender and you give of yourself instead of me, it's crazy how abundance will flow. Try it. You'll be amazed. Don't be lured by the magic bullet. Everybody out there has this, get rich quick, do this, buy this, sign up for that. Everyone out there is trying to promote themselves. And a lot of it might be good value. But here's what I learned the hard way. I would max out every card, trying to find every course, trying to learn from every coach, trying to do everything. And this chapter, there is no magic bullet. It's chapter 21. Do you know what it takes? It takes you to actually do the work. I was a functioneer. I would go to every meeting, every function. I had every book. I had every course. I had every audio cassette album until I got out of my comfort zone. And I said, I'm doing it. No coach could help me. You have to take action on your dreams and goals. From tragedy to triumph, chapter 22. We finally made it. We had it all. We had $45,000 a month. We had a beautiful fence around our big colonial house. We had a Suburban. We had a boat. We had a mechanical bull in the driveway just to have parties, right? And when we lost Dave's little brother in 2001, I learned a lot about money and stuff. It'll never make you happy. It'll be like when you ate a whole bag of chips and you're thirsting for water and there's nothing to drink. It's that salty thirst that never gets quenched. When I really learned the most important thing in life, it was during the hardest year of my life. And right after Dave's little brother took his life, the company that we had made it to the top of went bankrupt. So we lost a loved one. We lost our income. I felt like I was losing my husband. It was the deepest depression I ever watched someone go through in my life. And then after depression, it was even worse because there was an anger. There was a resentment. There was a questioning every good thing that ever happened to us. And real character was formed. I have so much respect for my husband, Dave, because he has experienced so much loss. He has experienced so much trauma, so much tragedy, so much pain. Yet the perseverance and the way that he stays on course every single day, it's character, it's integrity, it's grit, it's perseverance, it's faith, it's growth. It's enlarging your capacity to know that where there is incredible pressure, there is a great responsibility to serve others. And that's why we did what we did. That's why we started a company called Frequence. That's why Dave wrote the book, The Thinking Cure. He wrote that book going through a time when he was questioning everything. God, me, the whole world. Like, where was God when this happened, right? And what I learned watching Dave go through this is mind weaving, retraining your brain to find the good, even when you don't think there's any good. Learn the lesson and move on. Because the only other choice you have is to just stay stuck. And when you stay stuck, you repel the blessings, you repel the people, the opportunity, the resources. You get sick because that feeling, that emotion that you stay stuck on sends out a signal to every single organ in your body that says, I want to be mad. I want to be sad. I was done wrong. It is not fair. I hate the world. And when you feel that, it makes you sick. Dis-ease in your emotional life causes disease. Dis-ease causes disease. So during that journey, and Dave read every book on every religion, he was trying to find the answer, like, how do we know? And during that time, he wrote a book, how he changed his energy, his thoughts, his frequency to feel good now. I know you guys won't believe this, but Dave invented Feel Good Now like 15 years ago. We just never had a product line to put with it. So if you haven't read his book, I'm looking to see where it is here. It's on the website too. I think it's like $10. It's a short read. You could read it on a flight, and it helps you to dial into the timeline of your life, what happened in your life, what happened to you when that happened. Nothing's wrong with you. It's what happened to you. And then how you learn the lesson and you move forward. It's an incredible gift. It's on the website as well, on pitcockmarketing.com. And then lastly, what I want to talk about is your daily habits, because in order for you to really move forward into the new year, we can't wait for January 1. We absolutely are not waiting for January 1. It starts today. We're not even waiting for December 1. It starts today. Every single week, I talk to you about what I do on the daily. And every week, I talk to you about the productivity planner. Now, this works for any business. It works for any college kid. It works for any career. It's completely generic. It doesn't even have my name on it. It's result driven. I want you to look at the title, Result Driven Productivity Planner. Why? Because a lot of people get in a management mode. They think if I could change everybody around me, life would be great. Newsflash, you can't change everyone around you. Those are all non-negotiables, right? There's your business, not your business, and there's God's business. So what's your business is you and what you can control. There's controllables and there's uncontrollables. What can you control? How you spend your time, where you spend your money, how you think about certain things, how you reframe it, and your action plan. For some of you, you need to put your mask on and let everybody else worry about if they're getting off the plane. If you're like me, you're a nurturer. I am an empath. I want to save the whole world. I go to bed worrying about if I hurt someone's feelings. And in the meantime, I'm like, did they ever worry about if they hurt mine? Like, that's a good quality if you're a servant heart and you're a loving person. But I want to ask you a question. What is happening to you internally while you're worrying about everyone else and not taking care of you? I'm going to challenge you to sit down and write out what you want in your life, your values, your character, your legacy, what makes you happy. What makes me happy, honestly, is just having my kids and my family together. I wouldn't care if we were in a log cabin and we were back just having that wood burning stove. I would be happier with nothing and having my family all around, healthy, loving, having those memories than all the money in the world and missing someone that I love. That's just me. The holidays are going to amplify any emotion you've ever had because our mind goes to the past. Traditions. Traditions are great. We make a lot of memories. My grandma was awesome. Dave's grandma was awesome. There was nobody better than Dave's mom. My kids had the most amazing Nana that God ever created. But those are memories. They're gone. We're never getting them back. So for some of you, the holidays have you feeling a certain way. And I'm going to challenge you. Make new traditions. You be the person that you miss. You try to be that great whatever it was that was there for you when you needed them. When you look at what you miss and you say, who do I admire the most? Who do I love the most? Who did I learn the most from? Who made me feel the most amazing? What you want wants you. And when you look at the people that you admire the most, that you put up here, that you miss, that you love, that you grieve, ask yourself, they're right here, right? Ask yourself, what could I do during December and January and February and March to model that I most admire? When you step into that, I pulled out an old book today. I got this literally in 1997, The 5 Rituals of Wealth. And I sat down and I wrote my own mission statement. Who did I want to be? What did I want to do? How did I want to make people feel? What kind I want to raise? What kind of legacy did I want to leave? And it says, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress in the world depends on the unreasonable man. When we decided 2 years ago on Black Friday that we were going to start Frequence, and we made a drink that would taste like an Arnold Palmer tea, and we would put that drink in water, and we knew it would help people feel happier, have less brain fog, fight those feelings of sadness. They didn't have enough dopamine in their brain. Those endorphins, like when you work out or when you go on a run, or think of your happiest day. Maybe it was when your baby was born. Maybe the day you got married. Maybe the day your husband asked you to get married. Maybe it was the day of your grandchild being born. Maybe it was the day you graduated college. Depending on your values, everyone has different values that make them feel important. A lot of people, they value respect, just that feeling of accomplishment and that other people respect them. I don't know why. I've never really cared. If you don't respect me, it's okay. I'm still dancing. No matter how much I dance, some people are never going to clap. That's never really been one of my things. My values are way different. Family, well, faith, God and my family, probably the most important things to me. Fun. I want to have fun. All you boring people that don't want to have fun, I love you, but I don't want to sit around and be bored with you. I want to experience adventure. I want to take a risk. I want to go on a trip. I want the Kodak moment. I want to go to the concert, be in the front freaking row. I want Keith Urban's spit to get on me when I'm at that concert. I want to go feel the music, see the laughter, take my mom to Niagara Falls, take her to Las Vegas because she loves that. Like, I would much rather have fun and family and memories than anything like a mansion or a Mercedes or the Rolex. I've had those things. It does not quench my thirst. Now, we are all different, which is why you have to define what your values are. And when you define what your values are, you're going to be a lot happier. Some of you have to not only define what your values are, you have to let go of some baggage, some burdens. The greatest evils and the worst of crimes is staying stuck in poverty. Our first duty, a duty which to every other consideration should be sacrificed, is to not stay poor. I came from my mom living in a trailer house with the pipes frozen, and Dave and I would be under the trailer house with a blow dryer trying to thaw out the pipes just so they could all take a bath and share the water. My grandkids freak out if I say, do you want to share the water? We all shared water, all 5 of us, and it was very rarely hot water. But where I came from, those roots, I will never forget. Broke means you're temporarily out of money. Poor That's a state of mind. That's a mentality. And you got to quit playing the poor little old me and you got to get up. You got to say, what are my values? What do I stand for? So I'm going to help you with this and then I'm going to end the call. If you had all the time, all the capital, all the freedom to choose anything you wanted, what would you do to leave your mark on the world? You knew you couldn't fail. No such thing as failure. You were definitely going to succeed if you did this. What would you do? What life experiences would you have if you absolutely knew you could not fail? And for some of you, you're like, well, I don't know. Okay, let's change this then. If you won the lottery, please drop in the comments. I'm dying to see what you would say. If you won the lottery, would you stay at your same job or would you leave work tomorrow? Do you love what you do or do you hate your job? After you've achieved all the financial freedom, you've taken the vacation, you bought a few cars, you got your vacation home, you went skiing, you did the skydiving, all the things, you went on a yacht, whatever it is that was going to make you happy. What charity would you go to? What business would you commit yourself to? What nonprofit would you start? Let's think about that. When I started Frequence, I've already made a lot of money. I didn't really need to sell my best properties, Dave's mom's house, the med spa that I loved, where my nieces and my sister work. I mean, I didn't need to do that, but I was on a mission. And the mission was so much bigger than making money. I really want to change the world when it comes to mental health, addiction, and recovery. I was so frustrated trying to help my own daughter get clean and well. The treatment centers, the jail, the entire system is broken. And I might get canceled on Facebook for saying this, but let me just tell you, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. It's a complete failure. And knowing this firsthand, I will just tell you, if you're not rich and your child gets sick and struggles with addiction, they might die. Because if you're not rich, you can't get them well. It's 30 grand up front. And not only that, it's, are you cash or do you have insurance? And not only that, if they're not using or suicidal, like if they've been clean and they want help, they won't take them. It is the craziest thing. So one day I was just so pissed about the situation. I was like, one day I'm going to open centers all over the world. I'm going to take this 22 acres that I live on and I'm going to make the most amazing ranch, the most amazing venue. I'm going to bring families back together. I'm going to help people who are having suicidal thoughts. I'm going to take in the addict that everyone else has written off as a failure, a loser, a junkie. Like, I literally was just so mad. I was like, I'm doing this. And I'll tell you guys, at a time where Brooklyn was struggling and failing, there was a homeless kid that lived outside of her house that I took to treatment 3 times. I knew in my heart that was my passion. That was my purpose, because I got more joy out of seeing him win the day just 2 or 3 days than making millions of dollars. It was like I could do this every day for free. I felt like I was making a difference. So one day I took this kid for the 3rd time, drove him to Oklahoma, got him. In Oklahoma, you can get treatment for free. It's the most amazing state. If you're homeless and you go there, they give you this Oklahoma health thing and they'll take you right into a treatment center and they don't even ask any questions. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I don't find that around here in Kansas, but hey, if you can't find it, fix it, build it. So I took this kid and I remember the day I put him in my car, I got 3 text messages. What are you doing with that kid in your car? You know, he's the dealer. You know, he's the reason your daughter is struggling. He's not a good guy. You better be careful. I didn't care. Who am I to judge? So I took this kid, and that day, and his sister had died, overdosed in the bathtub. They called it suicide. She fell out in the bathtub. She drowned. And he left treatment to come back home to her memorial. And the memorial was like months after it happened. And everyone said, oh, it's just an excuse. He's failing again. But I got him a bus ride. I just thought, I don't know this kid. Some people thought he was the one that robbed our house on the camera video that went viral. Like, I didn't know, but I'm all forgiving. I'm all loving. I'm all serving. I love the Lord. I want to be an example of authenticity and love. So I took the kid again. And about a week ago, I got a text from him. If I wasn't using my phone on Instagram, I would show you it. He got his 1 year sober badge. His name is Nick Arnett. He is the lead manager. He is the lead manager at a restaurant 30 miles from here in Hays, Kansas. He spoke in Washington, D.C. for the Sober Home Living chapter. And he is the head of not just his Sober Home Living, but the entire region. This is a 3-4 time loser at treatment. A kid that went to prison years ago for driving a semi from Mexico through Salt Lake City, full of drugs. Everybody has a past. And that past and that story and that failure and that pain and that emptiness and that sorrow and that shame and that guilt can be used. It's the test that you can turn into your testimony. So I'm so proud of him. He's not family. He's just a friend. But he was there the day that my daughter overdosed and they said they couldn't bring her back. He was also there the day her boyfriend went to prison for assault and battery with a deadly weapon. He was there a lot of times where I felt like God put him in a place that made a difference in my life. And I want to ask you guys, who are you blaming? Who are you resenting? Who are you angry with? Who are you so mad at that if they wouldn't have done this, that wouldn't happen? Because let me tell you, I had a lot of hate for drug dealers, a lot of hate for them. And the hate was eating me alive. One day I said, I have to forgive. I have to address this. It's okay to have boundaries. But when you surrender and you give what you can to someone who is in need, you'll be amazed how the Lord will bless your life. So in this book, it ends with Dave and I just winning. I mean, here's the trailer house we started out in. That's my little salon. Here's Dave on the back of a bull. Here's a little cabin we nearly froze to death in Cody, Wyoming. So cold. Here's me, near-death experience, delivering my first child. You can see the blood all over the pillowcase. My eardrums burst. It was toxemia help syndrome. I prayed, and I prayed for life. My best friend that I walked with every day during pregnancy had passed away giving birth to her baby. And when I got pregnant and delivered Brooklyn, I ended up with the exact same thing. I'm going to tell you right now, thoughts are things. What you fear, you will attract. I brought it all on because I was so afraid, and it's the only thing I thought about, and it's the only thing I talked about. I gave the enemy so much power that he almost won. When you understand your thoughts and you understand frequency and you understand vibrations, what you put out comes back to you. A stranger walked in. His name was Bert Leach. He walked into our little gift shop. That's me. Callie's not even alive yet. I said, no, we're never doing a home-based business. Dave said yes. We had 3 beautiful babies, Brooklyn, Chance, and Callie. Look at them in the tire swing out on the farm at Dave's house. There we were, brand new family, had no experience, financial failures, never made any money before. Next thing you know, on the cover of a magazine with the Green Bay Packer, Jerry Kramer, standing on stage, Jana Mitchum, the greatest mentor I ever had, buying an Infiniti 6 months after a bankruptcy, taking our moms and all of our siblings on their first cruise. We cruised every year for the next 25 years. This was the year we lost Dave's little brother. And we said, you know what? Christmas is going to suck. Christmas is going to suck so bad. Let's leave. So we did. We bought them all a ticket. We took them all to Disney. We took them all on a cruise. my senior picture. Look at that. Little redhead, freckle-faced girl from Russell, Kansas, writing a book, starting a company, doing millions of dollars a month in sales, giving back, making impact. You guys, if you would have told me I could do what I'm doing today, I would have took your index finger, put it up to your temple, and drew some circles. Craziest, wildest dreams. Do you know what it started with? It started with a plan. It started with a planner. And in the very first question, it's my goals for the quarter. What are you going to do in the next 90 days? But this one is the big one. I do this at every event. Write down 50 things you want to accomplish in this lifetime. Before you die, you want to accomplish these things. And then you got to ask the question, who is the person? Who is the person that I need to become to make this happen? And if you will do this, it keeps you on track for 90 days to kick off the year. I give this to every leader. I give this to every sibling. It's everything. My sister and I have always bought each other a planner to start the year. Eventually, I had all these planners. I'm like, I'm going to write one that's better than any other planner out there. And you have to do every 90 days because you burn out. You burn out. You can set a goal, but 90 days later, you forget what you even started. So all of those are discounted today on pitcockmarketing.com. I hope that you're beginning this December like you want to end the year. Start the month how you want to end the month. And some of you are thinking about the goals you set last January. You're like, I always set goals. It never works for me because you don't have a system. You don't have a mentor. You don't have a coach. You don't have a vehicle to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. I was no different than you. Poor, penniless, pathetic, always blaming everyone else. Utilities turned off. Dog was in the pound. I couldn't even afford to get my dog out of the pound. Bouncing checks for baby formula back when you could like float checks. Guys, if I can do it, you can absolutely do it. It starts with a dream. It starts with you saying, what do I value? What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? What's stopping me? And you got to take action. Action cures the fear. So I would love to be your coach, your mentor. If you need someone to help you get started, get on track, stay on track, drop in the comments and say, coach me. I will put you with someone that can help you get a timeline, whatever it is. I guarantee you, I know someone who has done what you want to do. And all you need is someone that's where you want to be to say, I was where you were. Now, when I think about addicts, I've never been an addict, but I know some incredible mentors that have mentored people who are clean for 10, 15, 20 years. Sal Giglio in my organization, we are going to start an entire group for that in the new year. The addiction group, like all the addicts, come over here. I'll have Sal help you, right? I have people who are branding experts. I have people who are holistic health experts. I have people who are real estate experts. I have people who are good investment and tax coaches. Like, it doesn't matter what you want to do. I've probably met someone that's done it. And it's about you getting in the right circle. Change your environment. It will change your life. But you have to take massive and immediate action. Success isn't going to attack anyone. But today, I would love to give you the resources that have helped me and help you save some money on them. They would make amazing Christmas gifts. Give that gift of personal development, mentoring, coaching, time management, goal setting, belief. It is the greatest thing that you can give to a child, a grandchild, or someone that's on your team. So I hope you guys had an incredible Thanksgiving. I'm excited to say Merry Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year. I know some people think it's a little early for that, but I celebrate that all year long. I celebrate that all year long because I think about the story of Christmas and what that king has done in my life. I owe him everything, absolutely everything. I would be nothing without him. And we got to keep that spirit in mind for some of you that celebrate Hanukkah or other things. 100% respect whatever each person celebrates. But for me, I would be nothing without God. And I give him the glory every single day. That's why I want to give back. That's why I want to make impact. That's why I want to start these centers and these these communities and groups because I love the way I feel when someone tells me, because of you, this happened for me. And I always say, it wasn't me, it was God. But you guys, that's the only reason we're on this planet. Just so you know, the only reason you're breathing right now is you're here for a short time to serve other people, to witness and to give and to make your mark on the world. And some of you aren't making a mark anywhere. You're just sitting still, stuck. And I hope this just hits you right between the eyes and you say, okay, I'm doing it, because that is my intention, to make impact, to help people make a difference in the lives of people all around them. So I love you. Thank you for tuning in every single Saturday. Please hit the share button, tag a friend. And if you need someone to help you move forward in whatever it is that you're doing, just drop in the comments, coach me. I'll connect you with someone who can help you with what it is that you need to move forward. Have a good day, everyone.